mine. Oh, hello and welcome to Derby. My name is Mother Trucker and I'm here with
Nemesis.
here to give you some play-by-play. Real quick, just gonna give you your home team playing for the Ghouls today. We have number 0111 011 Havoc, number 05 Hurricane Heather, number 102 Jumpin' Joey, number 1212 Godspilla, number 13 Kitty Black, number 175 Hexadecimal. And we are off with our first jam. We will continue that lineup later. Looks like we have Jumpin' Joey on the line here for our Ghouls. Virginia Stallions out first with a quick lead with Skatenstein. Coming back to the pack for a scoring pass. Easily sails through for, looks like 4 points. Jumpin' Joey's about half a track behind. Coming back again to his scoring pass.
Skatenstein with the call off.
Looks like that was 9-0 in favor of the Stallions. Continuing our lineup today, we have number 25 Thorn, number 2534 Big Rig, your captain for today, number 301 Gorilla Biscuits, number 38 Rubinator, number 44 Craven Corruption, number 462 Scary Jane, number 88 Piston, number 98 Queso de Mondays, and number 118 Hellhound. Looks like we have Havoc on the line for the Ghouls, easily skating through for your lead.
Ghouls' first lead of the day.
Looks like the Virginia Jammer is still stuck in the line. Awesome defense there by your Ghouls.
Looks like Rubinator just drew a cut on 612.
Killer B heading to the penalty box. Meanwhile, Havoc's back for his scoring pass.
Nice work by the Ghouls offense to get their jammer through.
Looks like that's 10 points for your Pittsburgh Roller Derby Ghouls. 4 additional points, making the most of this power jam here for the Ghouls. Jammer is standing in the box and rejoins the track. Well, big hit there. Havoc knocked out and drawn back.
Virginia Jammer back on, challenging that Ghouls defense.
Looks like Killer B is your jammer for Virginia. Getting a lot of resistance there by the Ghouls line.
Nice work by the Ghouls defense, shutting it down right now.
Really shutting that jammer down. Meanwhile, Havoc is through again for an additional 4 points. About 7 seconds left in this jam. See how many more points we can score.
And the Ghouls jammer calls that off.
That was a 26-point jam for your Pittsburgh Ghouls. All right.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout here. And while we're on that, I'll bring you Virginia Men's Roller Derby's lineup. Starting off with 06, Skatenstein. 1252, Nami. 13, Thick. 16, Sweets, who's also your captain. 177, Venus Thigh Trap. 271, Lizness Casual. 513, The Thunder Taker. 612, Killer B. 615, Shania Payne. 711, Princess. 720, Amoxa Killin. 749, Boss Baby. 767, Supersonic. 828, Violet Riot. And 93, Toaster Bat.
And big shout out to our officials here today, Cheshire Stats, Bionic Bee, Firestarter, Dazed and Confused, Cheshire Stats, Official Head Case, Grits, Pocket, Hebrew, Spunky, Jam Burglar, Sammy Knockout, Omi, Zora, Normal Zebra, Filet Official, and Paul Barrier. That's right. Give it up for all of our officials here today.
Looks like Virginia Men's Roller Derby has some fans on our stream right here. They're getting good shout outs right now.
Ghouls fan club is in action over there.
Sure sounds like it. That's good.
All right, we are still in an official timeout. In the meantime, it looks like the snack shop is open. Feel free to peruse what the sweet things they have there if you need something to drink. Merch table is also available. Please check out the merch table. Virginia and Pittsburgh Roller Derby both have merch tables here.
Looks like on the chat, the Zebra team got a shout out. So go officials, I guess.
And that rolling whistle means we are back to play some derby. All right, looks like we have Hellhound on the line to jam for the Ghouls.
And Venus Thigh Trap for Virginia Men's Roller Derby.
Oh, Hellhound knocked to the ground there. Back up. Here we go. Looks like
Venus Thigh Trap may have picked up a penalty. And they have. They're in the box.
this would be
Looks
a
like
power jam. Power jam for your Ghouls here. Hellhound really working the Stallions defense there. Still trying to get through.
Very good defense by Virginia right now, holding the jammer very tight.
Ghouls are also down a blocker. Looks like Hexadecimal also picked up a penalty on that jam. And the jam is called off. And we are back in action here with Jumpin' Joey for your Ghouls with a power start. Easily gets through the pack and his lead jammer.
Nice offense by Pittsburgh Ghouls.
Virginia jammer is back on the track while Jumpin' Joey comes around for his first scoring pass.
Virginia Jammer gets through.
I believe that's Princess.
And Jumpin' Joey calls that jam off.
Was a net 4 points for Pittsburgh Roller Derby, 0 for Virginia. All right, coming up to jam number 5 of the first period here. We have Havoc on the line going against Skatenstein for Virginia. And the jam is on. Havoc easily sails through and becomes your lead jammer.
Skatenstein right there. Very quick, too.
Skatenstein is gaining on Havoc here. And the jam is called off. Net 0 points for that jam. All right, looks like we have Jumpin' Joey back on the line again. And going against number 612. 612, Killer B for the Virginia Stallions. Jam is on. Jumpin' Joey juking to the outside line. Gets knocked out of bounds and
nice work by Killer B to get through. Coming around for their scoring pass right now.
Jumpin' Joey here still on initial. And the pack is moving quickly. All right, Jumpin' Joey's now through his initial. It was a net 0-0 on that jam. Nope, oh, excuse me. 3 points for Virginia, bringing your score to Pittsburgh Roller Derby 30, Virginia 13.
On the line for Virginia, we have 177 Venus Thigh Trap.
And jamming for Pittsburgh, we have Hurricane Heather. Hurricane Heather easily takes the outside lane for lead. Virginia Jammer is still stuck in the pack.
And Hurricane Heather calls that off.
I believe that was 4 points for the Ghouls. 3 points for the Ghouls. 3 points for the Ghouls, 0 for Virginia on that jam, bringing your score to 33 Pittsburgh, 13 Virginia.
Back on the line for Virginia is number 06 Skatenstein versus Havoc.
Skatenstein skating through and taking an early lead. Havoc's about a half a length behind. Skatenstein signaling to the rest of the team there and quickly calls off the jam. Looked like that was a 4-0 jam for Virginia.
Nice fast 4 points by Skatenstein there. Accomplished jammer from Mars Junior Roller Derby.
And on the line for the next jam, we have number 98, Queso de Mondays, jamming for the Ghouls against Killer B for Virginia. Jam is on. Killer B is easily through the pack there. And your lead jammer,
nice footwork by Killer B on the line to get by the Ghouls defense there.
looks like Queso de Mondays is out and through initial. back for scoring. Both jammers hit the pack, and it looks like Virginia picked up 4 points on that jam. The Ghouls 0.
On the line now, we have 177 Venus Thigh Trap versus 011 Havoc.
I think we've seen this lineup before. Oh, Venus Thigh Trap takes the outside line quickly. It gets through the pack and is your lead jammer. Havoc still in the pack. Finally through. Meanwhile, the Virginia jammer is back for a scoring pass and calls off the jam. Looks like that was a 4-0 jam in favor of Virginia, bringing the score to 33 Pittsburgh, 25 Virginia. And on the line, we have Skatenstein skating for Virginia, going against Jumpin' Joey, number 102 for the Ghouls. Skatenstein easily sails through the pack and is a determined lead. First scoring pass racks up 4 points for Virginia. Jumpin' Joey still in the pack. Skatenstein takes the outside there, takes a hit, but sails on through for an additional 4 points. Jumpin' Joey's now through the pack now.
Skatenstein to the outside, calls it off. It's a nice 11-point jam. And we have a lead change.
Lead change. Virginia takes the lead with 36 points. Pittsburgh at 33.
Virginia defense has been holding Pittsburgh scoreless here the last few jams.
All right, looks like we have Hellhound on the line, jamming for the Ghouls against Killer B. Killer B encountering that Ghouls wall and is through for lead jammer. Ghouls now providing some offense there. Hellhound is finally through, about a half a length behind. And Killer B calls off the jam.
Pittsburgh back at full strength finally. Got their blocker out of the box. Both teams at full strength.
Looks like that last jam was a net 0 for both teams. And we've got Havoc on the line with Venus Thigh Trap, jamming for Virginia. Looks like we have a little jammer on jammer action there at the start. Both jammers through the line. Oh, no. I apologize.
Oh.
That would be Havoc.
Looks like Havoc actually stayed on that line there. I thought they both went out, but
it did look like that. But Havoc is your lead jammer, is coming around to score. Looks like the Virginia jammer racked up a penalty and is in the box, making this a power jam for the Ghouls. Oh no, I apologize. Venus Thigh Trap's finally through the pack. They were hidden there.
Havoc calls it off, and Virginia was able to steal 4 points to Pittsburgh's 3.
Net 1 on that jam for Virginia. And we have Skatenstein on the line for Virginia, going against Jumpin' Joey for the Ghouls. The Ghouls defense put up a valiant effort, but Skatenstein did skate on through and is your lead jammer. Jumpin' Joey still getting some resistance from that Virginia defense. And Skatenstein skates through to score. Meanwhile, Joey's about a half a length behind, still on initial. And the jam is called off for a net 4 points for Virginia.
We might have a power jam here for Pittsburgh. It looks like a late call on Skatenstein for skating out of bounds.
This will be a power start for Hellhound, who is jamming for the Ghouls.
Jam is on. Hellhound is in the inside lane and through.
Nice offensive work there by Big Rig and Piston. And Skatenstein is back on the track jamming for Virginia.
Oh, and Virginia's jammer right back in the box.
Meanwhile, the
Ghouls... Nope, he's out again. So it must not have been a penalty there.
Awesome apex jump there by Skatenstein. And the jam is called off.
That was a nice apex jump.
That was a nice apex jump.
Very impressive.
Net 6 for Pittsburgh. Bringing the score, Pittsburgh 42, Virginia 46. Still anyone's bout, friends. Looks like we have a new jammer on the line. Amok the Thillin on the line for Pittsburgh, going against Jumpin' Joey. All right, Jumpin' Joey jukes left, jukes right, and takes the outside lane and is your lead jammer.
Some nice back and forth work by Joey to get the line to move.
Awesome agility there. Oh, awesome
nice
jump by Jumpin' Joey. Now we know why we got that name. And the jam is called by Jumpin' Joey. Looks like a net 5 points. We have another lead change.
Looks like a late penalty to Jumpin' Joey's going to give Virginia men's roller derby a power jam.
Right now, the Ghouls are in the lead by 1 point. Killer B with the power start for Virginia and is now your lead jammer, coming around for a scoring pass.
Nice work by Killer B in the beginning, getting the inside lane and getting the lead.
Awesome defensive work there by that 3-wall. One of the Pittsburgh defenders got called in a penalty. I believe that's Gorilla Biscuits going to the box.
Jumpin' Joey getting out and getting through. Nice work by Killer B there to duck through and get an additional couple points. Jumpin' Joey doing a little extra on the track there for everyone to see.
And that was a hard 1 point there for Pittsburgh by Jumpin' Joey to 8 for Virginia, bringing the score to 54 Virginia, 48 Pittsburgh.
On the track, we have 06 Skatenstein versus 011 Havoc. Getting to be a familiar matchup here. Skatenstein with a nice move to the outside, getting lead jammer.
like Havoc is encountering resistance there by the Virginia defense. Ghouls defense is slowing Skatenstein down. But he makes it through, but they make it through with 4 points. And Skatenstein skates on the inside line there, picking up an additional 4 points for a total of 8, bringing the score to Virginia 62, Pittsburgh 48.
Oh, nice work on the inside by Killer B, I believe, getting by all of Pittsburgh's blockers. Left wide open on the inside.
Right on the line now we have Jumpin' Joey going against Venus Thigh Trap for Virginia. And the jam is on. And looks like Virginia Thigh Trap was lead. However, gets a penalty and is headed to the box. Looks like a forearm called on the Virginia Jammer.
This jam is going to go 2 minutes because Joey passed.
This will be a full 2-minute jam, and Queso de Mondays is now your jammer for the Ghouls. Queso de Mondays knocked outside, drawn back. Fast moving pack here into turn 3. But Queso de Mondays is through for 4 points.
Venus Thigh Trap out of the box, getting ready to hit this Pittsburgh defense.
About 50 seconds to go in this jam.
Venus Thigh Trap sneaks through on the inside line for 4. Wait, is that her initial? I'm sorry, that was her initial.
That was initial for Venus Thigh Trap. And they are back now to the pack on a scoring run. Looks like Queso de Mondays is being held back by an awesome 3-wall there by the Virginia defense.
Jumpin' Joey came up to try to give some offense.
And Venus Thigh Trap is through for 4 points. Rest of the Ghouls there trying to offer some offense for Queso de Mondays, who is now through. And that was an 8-8 jam.
On the line, we have 0-6 for Virginia men's roller derby Skatenstein against 0-1-1 Havoc for Pittsburgh. Jam starts.
Really good defensive work there. Big hit by Big Rig, drawing back Skatenstein. Gorilla Biscuits comes in for a hit. However, Skatenstein was able to narrowly avoid it and gets through for initial. Is named lead. Is back to score.
Looks like Skatenstein just received a penalty, so it's going to be a power jam for Pittsburgh Ghouls right now.
All right. right, looks like the Pittsburgh Jammer is now through. Havoc has completed initial now and is back to score and picks up 4 points for Pittsburgh.
Havoc receiving some knife offense there for the Ghouls. Sweeping through to get 4.
That's an additional 4 points for the Ghouls as Skatenstein rejoins the track and is quickly narrowing the gap between Havoc and now comes around to a scoring pass. Skatenstein held up by that 3-wall, eventually gets through for 4 points for Virginia. Pittsburgh Ghouls putting up a good defense there. Skatenstein, though, gets through for an additional 4 points. Looks like Havoc is caught up there by the Virginia defense. Looks like that was a 12-10 point jam there in favor of Virginia, and we have an official timeout.
Ghouls cheering section out there in corner number 2, trying to get the crowd into it. That's a good question. I really should even have a name.
Trying to find a name for the Ghouls cheering section over there.
If anybody can come up with a name for the cheering section, either come up with it online or come tell us, and we'll make that happen.
Super fans.
Skatenstein getting a shout out from his girlfriend online.
The Virginia Stallions getting a shout out. Good wall here in the chat. Good wall to the Stallions. And we are back. Jam is on.
We have Hurricane Heather for Pittsburgh and Killer B for Virginia Men's Roller Derby. Hurricane Heather working her way through that tough Virginia defense and getting lead jammer.
Looks like Killer B was drawn back and is still an initial. Meanwhile, Hurricane Heather sails through for 4 points for Pittsburgh.
Wow, Hurricane Heather looking like vintage Hurricane Heather out there.
Both jammers now coming back to the pack. And the jam is called. Looks like that was an 8-point jam for Pittsburgh, bringing the score to 7-4 Pittsburgh, 8-6 Virginia. And we have a suggestion from the chat. Ghoul leaders.
Ghoul leaders. So far, that's it. Remember, if you have any more, come tell us or put it on chat.
Looks like Virginia's taking a timeout.
It's like Virginia men's called a timeout.
This would be a good time to go frequent the snack bar if you have a hankering for something. Or one of the merch tables in the back.
Pittsburgh Ghouls offering a lot of options. Also is Virginia Men's Roller Derby tables back there. Pick yourself up a couple nice t-shirts.
And that rolling whistle means that timeout is over.
On the line, we have 188 Hellhound for Pittsburgh and 177 Venus Thigh-Killer for Virginia Men's Roller Derby.
And the pack is tight there toward the jam line. Looks like Venus Thigh Trap tried to take the inside line there and met resistance from the Ghouls wall. Venus Thigh Trap is through and is marked lead. Havoc's not far behind, about half a length.
Hellhound.
What did I say, Havoc? Hellhound.
Yeah, Hellhound. Hellhound hitting the pack, working that defense hard, get some nice offensive work. Get in the inside lane, nice for 4 points.
Nice move by Hellhound there. He's about a half a length behind Venus Thigh Trap. And Venus Thigh Trap calls off the jam. I apologize, a lot of former brats here. Current and former Pittsburgh Derby brats, the junior team here in Pittsburgh.
Looks like Virginia picked up an extra point there, and it got a 5-4 jam on the last one.
That was a net 1 to Virginia on that jam. Now we have Havoc on the line for the Ghouls, skating against Skatenstein for Virginia.
Havoc squeezing through on the inside, nice work. Skatenstein still trying to work on the outside on Big Rig. Cuts back to the end.
Nice hit by Ruby. Rubinator there, really slowing down Skatenstein.
Oh, picks up a penalty though.
Is headed to the box. Skatenstein is through for initial. Meanwhile, Havoc picks up 4 points for Pittsburgh and calls off the jam. Down to an 11-point lead now for Virginia.
Jumpin' Joey back on a line for Pittsburgh against, looks like Killer B for Virginia Men's Roller Derby.
I'm sorry, I mean a 9-point jam.
Killer B looking like you're playing a little passive defense right there too.
Killer B was juking right, juking left. Finally finds passage there on the outside line and is declared lead. Jumpin' Joey's still on initial, trying to get through that strong defense there by the Virginia 3-wall. Ooh, get some offense there by Rubinator. Meanwhile, Killer B is back on the scoring pass. Picks up 4 points for Virginia. Jumpin' Joey is finally through and on initial. And Killer B calls off the jam.
And that'll take us to intermission, folks.
With your score, Virginia Roller Derby 99, Pittsburgh Roller Derby 82. All right, we'll see you in 15 minutes, folks. All right, we have about a minute left to go here in intermission. Teams are getting ready. Just wanted to announce the location of our after party at Paradise Bowl here on Neville Island. Hope to see you all there after the bout today. All right, after a very defensive first half, neither team reaching the century mark. We are now here for round 2 of the Pittsburgh Ghouls versus the Virginia Roller Derby Stallions.
And on the line to start things off on the second half is 0-6 Gatenstein for Virginia Men's Roller Derby and 0-1-1 Havoc for Pittsburgh Roller Derby.
So the cheering team says they are the Wraiths.
The Wraith.
The Wraiths.
That's not bad. I'll take that. That's the race. That'll work. Keep a nice theme thing going.
Keep up with the undead theme. And jam is on for our first jam here in period 2.
Skatestein playing a little defense before he comes out there and breaks down the inside line and gets lead jammer.
Yeah, the Virginia defense there rolling back behind the jam line to really put some pressure on Havoc.
Skatenstein through for 4 points. And calling it off before Havoc can score anything.
Very strategic, called off the jam right as Havoc reached the pack again. Net 4 to Virginia, and Virginia breaches that century mark for 103 points to Pittsburgh's 82.
On the line now, we have Pittsburgh 102, Jumpin' Joey, and Killer B for Virginia Men's Roller Derby.
Both jammers juking right and left. Looks like the Virginia jammer is out first. Killer B getting the lead, but Jumpin' Joey's about a half a length behind. And the Virginia jammer hits the pack, calls it off. Let's see what the points total
Not
is.
before Pittsburgh Roller Derby was able to get their other blocker out of the box. So now both teams are at even strength again. Doesn't look like there was any scoring in that last jam either.
Net 0 on that jam. All right, we've got a Hellhound on the line, as you can probably hear from the crowd, for the Ghouls. Going against Venus Thigh Trap, number 177 of Virginia.
Venus Thigh Trap with some nice work on the outside, picking up lead jammer.
And Hellhound is finally through on initial as Venus Thigh Trap reaches the pack to score. And Venus Thigh Trap calls off the jam. Looks like Virginia picked up 4 points, 3 points on that jam. Pittsburgh 0.
That brings our score up to Virginia Roller Derby 106, Pittsburgh Roller Derby 82.
In jamming now, we have Skatenstein for Virginia and Havoc for the Ghouls. Skatenstein held back by the Ghouls' defensive wall. Ruby trying to give some offensive there to the Ghouls jammer, but Skatenstein is declared lead. He comes back to the pack to score. Picks up 4 points. Havoc's about a half a length behind.
Skatenstein letting some clock wear down and then calling it off. Very smart.
that strategery?
Strategery. I like that.
Strategery, yes.
Very good strategery by Skatenstein.
All right, Jimmy, now we've got Jumpin' Joey for the Ghouls, Killer Bee for the Virginia Men's Roller Derby Stallions. Really good defensive work there by the Virginia Roller Derby defense with Princess
Killer
number
Bee
271, yeah.
My bad, sorry. Killer Bee working through the Pittsburgh defense and getting lead jammer.
And Killer Bee comes back to score. Rolls through for 4 points and calls off the jam.
Nice 4-point jam by Virginia Men's Roller Derby, bringing their total up to 114 to Pittsburgh's 82.
Looks like it's 110. Well, maybe. Nope, I apologize, 114. There's a little delay.
I didn't think I read it wrong. I got my bifocal, contact lenses in,
I was looking at the small screen.
It's like Venus Thigh Trap working Pittsburgh defense against Havoc right now. Or Hellhound, my bad. And Hellhound picking up a penalty. It looks like Virginia Men's Roller Derby on the power play.
Power jam.
Sorry, folks.
That's okay.
Well, the Olympics are on. I'm still thinking about hockey. That's my bad.
Was that icing? Was that an ice? No, wrong sport. And Venus Thigh Trap pushes hard against the 3-wall there by the Ghouls. Picks up 4 points and calls off the jam. 118 for Virginia, 282 for your Ghouls.
Ghouls been held scoreless so far.
The Wraiths have been activated.
They better. They need to get their team up there to score some. We haven't scored since the half started.
And now it's to Havoc going against Skatenstein there. Skatenstein getting some interference there from that 3-wall, but is your lead jammer. Havoc getting an assist there by Big Rig, but that Virginia 3-wall reforms.
Looks like Havoc just picked up a penalty, and Skatenstein's going to have himself a power jam.
Power jam, Virginia. Hurricane Heather giving some interference to Skatenstein there. But Skatenstein is through 4, an additional 4 points.
Looks like Skatenstein thought about icing the jammer, but decided to go through. Nice work on the inside by Skatenstein.
Nice little hop there. Ghouls defense is working hard. Looks like Havoc is back on the track. Running into some interference there from the Virginia defensive line. Oh, and Rubinator with a hit to Skatenstein as he comes through for an apex jump drawn back.
Nice work on the inside again by Skatenstein to get through for another 4.
That 3-wall really worked hard, but Skatenstein just kind of tiptoed through on the toe stops there. Hurricane Heather now is your jammer for the Ghouls, having received the star. but is unfortunately not able to score. That was a 23-point jam for Skatenstein, bringing the score to 1-4-1 for Virginia, 82 for your Ghouls.
Very nice jam by Skatenstein last one.
And we have an official timeout. Just want to shout out our medics. Thanks to the medics for being here. Otherwise, we could not have roller derby. Also, shout out to the track team. Without a track, we could not have roller derby. And just a reminder that our after party is at Paradise Bowl here on Neville Island. Hope to see you all there after the last jam.
Do a little bowling, do a little axe throwing, have a little food.
They have darts, axe throwing, bowling.
I think there's video games there
They
too.
even have sand volleyball if you're brave enough to go out in this weather.
It's true. Yeah, good luck with that, though. I'll see you out there.
Sand might be a little frozen.
Pretend to pass out when you're done.
And that'll end the timeout. Or it might not.
We have a timeout now just for a scoreboard issue. And the timeout is over. We are back. Jam is on. Jumping Joey jamming for Pittsburgh, and looks like Killer B. Killer B is your lead jammer, but Jumping Joey is right behind. Looks like Killer B calls off the jam for more strategery.
There's that word again. Up for Virginia Roller Derby, we have Venus Thigh Trap versus Hellhound for Pittsburgh.
And it looks like Venus Thigh Trap is through and declared lead. Hellhound is caught up in the pack. And Venus Thigh Trap is through for 4 points. Hellhound still trying to make it through for an initial pass.
Looks like Pittsburgh just lost a blocker, Hurricane Heather, into the penalty box. Venus Thigh Trap in for another 4 points. Oh, Pittsburgh loses another blocker. And looks like she's going to serve 2.
I didn't catch the signals on that one.
Yeah, I believe the first one was
legal contact.
First one was a directional, and the second one, I believe, was for not leaving the track in a proper manner.
Gotcha. All right, looks like that was a 12-point jam for Virginia, bringing their total up to 158, 148 to Pittsburgh's 82. Pittsburgh scoreless now for the last several jams.
I believe Pittsburgh is yet to score a point this half. And up on the line right now for Virginia is Skatenstein, and for Pittsburgh it is Havoc.
And the jam is on. Looks like Skatenstein is putting on some defensive work there, but Havoc is through and declared lead. Skatenstein is coming up very quickly. Nice apex jump there by Skatenstein. Skatenstein is through the pack. Meanwhile, Havoc is caught up with that strong 3-wall of Virginia.
He did make a nice inside move and a hop jump right there in the inside. That was really nice.
And the jam is called off. That was a 4-4 jam. Net 0.
Looks like he also lost the knee pad on the play. Skating so fast, his equipment's falling off.
He hit warp speed. And
hey, whatever works.
Right.
I mean, you know.
All right, jam is on. We've got Jumpin' Joey going against Killer B.
Almost for Joey there on the inside.
Both jammers trying to find a lane.
Oh.
Ooh, Killer B was almost out of the pack. Knocked out of bounds. But is through. Killer B is declared your lead jammer.
Pittsburgh losing a blocker to the box. Looks like Queso the Monday's got a low block and was sent to the box.
And Jumpin' Joey is finally through. Still on initial. Killer B is back to score. And calls off the jam. It was a net 3 for Virginia. Net 3 for Virginia. Looks like we have a new jammer out for Virginia. We have Violet Riot, number 828.
Violet Riot on the jam line for Virginia against Hurricane Heather. Pittsburgh still has one in the box. Looks like Heather playing a little mind games with Violet. And Violet looks like picking up.
Violet Riot is through and declared lead. Virginia team supporting their jammer. Hurricane Heather still caught up in the pack. Ooh, a little hop there, and Hurricane Heather is finally through while Violet Riot is back to score. And Violet Riot calls off the jam. Looks like that was a 2-2 jam. 2-2 jam.
Brings our score up to Virginia Men's Roller Derby 167, Pittsburgh Roller Derby 88.
And we've got a familiar lineup here on the jam line now. We've got Havoc skating for the Ghouls, Skatenstein for Virginia Roller Derby Stallions. Jam is on. Skatenstein trying to the outside lane there, quickly gets lead. Havoc's caught up in the middle of the pack. And Skatenstein is through for 4 points. Looks like Havoc gets a penalty, so this will be a power jam Virginia.
Skatenstein through another 4.
And I believe he's coming back now for the third scoring pass. Ooh.
Oh, nice hit.
Tipped us on the outside. Nice hit by the Ghouls defense there.
I believe that was Rubinator with a nice hit.
And Skatenstein calls off the jam. It's 12 points for Virginia to the Ghouls 0, bringing the score to 179 Virginia, 8-8 Pittsburgh.
Like Rubinator and Skatenstein giving each other a little love after the after that last jam. I believe they were teammates for Roller Rage this year.
All right, there was a quick official timeout there. Looks like Virginia has a power start with Killer B on the line. And easily goes through to take lead. Killer B's back to score. Pittsburgh Jammer is on the track. Still an initial, trying to make it through. And Havoc gets through. Meanwhile, Killer B picks up 4 points and calls off the jam.
Our score now stands at Virginia Men's Roller Derby 183, Pittsburgh Roller Derby 88. With 12:55 left in the second half.
And we've got Venus Flytrap on the line for Virginia, going against Hellhound for the Ghouls. Both jammers trying to find a lane there in a very tight pack. And Virginia picks up a multiplayer penalty. Havoc gets through in his declared lead. Oh, Virginia Jammer now called on a penalty. This will be a power jam Ghouls.
Hellhound approaching the pack, looking for some help. Looks like they're going to get it.
Fast moving pack now. Yeah, as Hellhound bobs and weaves and ducks and is finally through. Picks up 4 points for the Ghouls and is back for a second scoring pass. Looks like that power jam is over. Oh, big hit there to Hellhound by number 720, Moxa Killin, excuse me. Drawn back.
Oh. Hellhound avoiding the first 2 hits, but the last one got her.
And Venus Flytrap was knocked out and drawn back by the Ghouls defense.
Hellhound squeezing through on some nice footwork.
Looks like one of the Pittsburgh blockers gets a penalty. So Pittsburgh will be down a blocker.
Looks like Virginia Men's Roller Derby's jammer just picked up a track cut. So we're going to have a power start for Pittsburgh.
Looks like that was a 9-point jam for Pittsburgh, bringing their score up to 9-7 to Virginia's 183. And power start for Jumpin' Joey on the line there for the Ghouls.
Looks like the Wraith have picked up their chance in the corner here.
And jam is on. Jumpin' Joey trying to find a lane. Get some resistance there from the strong Virginia wall. And we have a timeout.
official review right now for Virginia Men's Roller Derby. Mother Trucker is going out to check on what's going on.
The Jamboree. You want a microphone?
Oh, there we go. Looks like that official review was by Virginia, seeking an aggressive high block there on black 102. And it looks like the call will stand. And we are back with some derby here. Jumpin' Joey on the line. Looks like for a power start here for the Ghouls. Gatenstein with a big hit to Jumpin' Joey there. There we go. Okay. Big thank you to our medics there, making sure our skaters are safe. Just so you know, we cannot have derby if the medics are not watching the track.
On the jammer line right now, we have Skatenstein for Virginia Men's Roller Derby and Havoc for Pittsburgh Roller Derby.
And the jam is on.
Both jammers making it through on the inside, but Skatenstein picking up lead jammer.
And we have a foot race. Havoc putting the pressure on Skatenstein, who calls off the jam before anyone scores.
I think Skatenstein might have picked up one. Yeah.
Oh, 1 point. 1 point for Virginia.
Virginia had one Pittsburgh skater trapped, and he was able to gain 1 point there.
The OTT, as it were. Yeah, you know me, the OTT. We have about 8.5 minutes left to go in this period. And we have Hellhound takes lead for the Ghouls.
But right on Hellhound's tail is Killer Bee.
I would not want to be on the tail of a Hellhound.
Oh, Killer Bee taking a nice hit in the inside there by
And Hellhound picks up 4 points. As does Kitty Black. I'm sorry, as does Killer Bee.
Your Coach Tot telling Hellhound to call that off. Yeah. Looks like a +4 for Pittsburgh right
net
there.
4,
8-4 jam.
And Pittsburgh has crossed the century mark at 105. Virginia Men's Roller Derby, 188.
On the line here for Virginia Men's Roller Derby, we have Venus Thigh Trap, and for Pittsburgh, Hurricane Heather. Both jammers hitting the line hard. Hurricane Heather bursting through in the inside there. Picking up lead jammer for Pittsburgh.
Looks like the Virginia jammer got some resistance, but is now free and is coming back to score. And Hurricane Heather calls off the jam.
Looks like she picked up all 4.
Net 4 to Pittsburgh.
Back on the line, we have Skatenstein and Havoc. That seems to be a familiar matchup. Nice work by Ruby on the inside.
Yeah, excellent work.
Skatenstein makes his way through on the inside.
And is declared lead. Picks up lead. Nice work by Havoc there, skating on one skate, knocked out of bounds, comes back in, and is now finishing up an initial pass.
Skatenstein taking some time off the clock and calling that jam off.
Net 4 to Virginia.
On the line now, we have for Pittsburgh, Jumpin' Joey, and for Virginia Men's Roller Derby, Killer Bee.
Oh, nice offensive work there by the Ghouls, giving Jumpin' Joey lead, although he does pick up a penalty here. Looks like a track cut. Noah hitting. So he will go to the box.
I believe he got a forearm trying to go on the outside there. This is going to lead to a power jam for Virginia men's roller derby.
And Killer B is now through and declared lead. And the jam is called. Net 0.
Looks like Virginia is going to ice Pittsburgh's jammer and go for a nice full power jam.
Power jam for Venus Thigh Trap, now jamming for Virginia. And Killer B is through and declared lead. I'm sorry, Venus Thigh Trap, number 177.
Jumpin' Joey also making his way through the outside for his initial. Hurricane Heather doing her best to tie up the jammer right here, getting some help. Looks like Pittsburgh's jammer will be going back to the box for another Virginia men's roller derby power jam.
Looks like that was a net 3 to Virginia on that jam, bringing the score to 195 Virginia, 109 Pittsburgh. Virginia with a power start to Skatenstein.
Skatenstein through for lead jammer for Virginia. Making his way around for his scoring pass. Nice hop to the inside. He's through for 4. Calling it off again, icing Pittsburgh's jammer.
That was a net 4 gain for Virginia. Close to the double century mark there at 199 to Pittsburgh's 109. .213 left.
This will leave a short power jam for, I believe, Killer B right now.
This might be our last jam. We'll see.
Jumpin' Joey back on the track.
Jumpin' Joey forced out of bounds. Has to recycle back behind the pack. And is finally through on initial. And Killer B calls off the jam.
I believe, like you said, for a net 4. And that would put Virginia men's roller derby over 200 at 203 to 109.
And it looks like we will get one more jam. At least one more jam.
The minute 15 left. Venus Thigh Trap up against Hellhound.
Virginia putting the 4 wall there to the Pittsburgh jammer. Hellhound forced out of bounds, picks up a penalty, heads to the box.
Another power jam for Virginia men's roller derby.
And the Virginia jammer is declared lead. That would be Venus Thigh Trap coming around for a scoring pass. And a Pittsburgh blocker heads to the box now. Looks like Hellhound is back on the track, trying to get through that strong Virginia wall there.
Hellhound having a lot of trouble with that tripod right now. Time has expired on our period clock with 45 seconds left in this last jam. And jam is called off by Venus Thigh Trap.
Picks up an additional 4 points, 8 points on that jam. And we have an unofficial score. 211 Virginia, 109 Pittsburgh. We'll see if that's official. And it is official. And the W goes to Virginia Men's Roller Derby for 211 points. Pittsburgh Ghouls, 109. Stay tuned for your MVPs. MVPs are being selected by the teams tonight. Just a reminder that there is an after party at Paradise Pool.
Please make your MVJ and MVB selections and report to the scorer's table. Well, not the scorer's table, the announcer's table, sorry.
All right, Virginia, do you have your MVPs? Please come over to the announcer table. All right, and we have your MVPs for Virginia. Your most valuable jammer is number 117, Venus Thigh Trap. And your most valuable blocker is number 271, Lizness Casual. Come on over and get your prize.
Yes, please come over to the table, get your awards, please. And for Pittsburgh Roller Derby, your MVP is the captain, Big Rig. And for Pittsburgh Roller Derby, your MVJ is 118 Hellhound. For Mother Trucker, I'm Nemesis. Thank you for coming tonight. We'll see you at the after party.